Okay, coming up on 25 seconds to the 6 minute mark. 6.5 to the start. Heat 1A, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. The calm before the storm. I got many photographers standing out in front of me. I've got radio people standing out in front of me. I've got H1 officials. I got the drones flying. We're getting ready to go here. We are 2 seconds, 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the start. Keep an eye on the pit area over there. See if you don't start seeing some white water getting pushed as our boats come away from the dock. I am not sure we are going to see the 440, but we're definitely going to see the 9, the 8, and the 12. Haven't seen a whole lot of movement over there yet. They don't have to come out at 6 minutes. They can. We got one boat coming up and away. I'm being told the U8 with J. Michael Kelly and the U9 away from the dock with Corey Peabody. So we'll bring him across. Five minutes until the start. We have a green flag on the race course, 4 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. It's Heat 1A of the 2021 Lake Guntersville Hydro Fest, the race for the Southern Cup. Let's go hydroplane racing. It is about time. We've waited 21 months to do this. Let's hope we get a good one. Looks like J. Michael Kelly. If that's got the white cowling on it, it's certainly one of the Darrell Strong boats that is up at the top end of the race course. Looks like that's Corey Peabody coming up behind him at the 3/4 mark of the backstretch. J. Michael Kelly, our second fastest qualifier. Look at the water conditions out here. Everything is perfect. There is a very much a silence right here at Lake Guntersville as JMK flies across start-finish line here. Talked to this young man last night. All he wants to do is drive. All he wants to do is race. He said he probably wouldn't sleep much last night. Like all of us, he is excited to see this happen. Here comes his teammate. Here comes his grade school classmate. Here comes his good buddy. Also the top qualifier, Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak Consulting, the U9. And at the top end of the race course, our third boat. Apparently we are not going to see the 440. The top end of the race course. It is the U12, the Graham Trucking, Andrew Tate. I got a nickel. Jeff Ayler says I make a mistake on that, and I put J. Michael Kelly in that 12. It's just been too many years.
That's going to be tough to get used to, Brad, this year. JMK and the number 8, Miss Tri-Cities. Corey Peabody, top qualifier in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Here's Andrew Tate. Dominant red with the silver and black, the U12 Graham Trucking. Brad, it's the race before the race. Your lane is not assigned to you before the start. This is the milling period. This is where it gets interesting.
This is where it gets very interesting, and a lot can happen here. Like Jeff said, this is the race before the race. Your lanes are not assigned. So you're going to come and fight for that lane as you see our two boats go down to the lower end of the race course. Tate is on the inside of J. Michael Kelly at the lower end. Looks like Kelly went around him. Before J. Michael Kelly could move to the left in front of Andrew Tate, he would have to have 7 boat lengths. He certainly got that now if he wanted to move. But again, we're still very early. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the start. 2:30 now, 2:25. J. Michael Kelly, you see him slow down up the backstretch now. And Andrew Tate has yet to put his foot in the 12, the Graham Trucking. He's just been slowly going around the race course as Corey Peabody comes off the bottom end of the race course here. And he's running with a little more authority up the backstretch. It's Corey Peabody, J. Michael Kelly, and Andrew Tate coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the start. Heat 1A presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. There you see Andrew Tate cutting the race course from the back to the front. I mentioned that was a legal maneuver. He did it at the proper place on the race course, and there goes J. Michael Kelly across the race course. And he can do that. He can cut from the front stretch to the back, when he is down at the lower end of the race course. That was legal. Now watch Tate as we watch the clock with 1:30 until the start. I think Andrew's going to go all the way down now with 1:30 on this 2.5 mile course. I like where Andrew Tate sits right now. He might find himself on the inside, but I'll tell you what, J. Michael Kelly is a master at getting lane one. He's going to come off the top end of the course behind everybody. Will he cut the course and try and jump to the inside? It's got 1:10. I don't think he's going to have to go around. I think he was too early to jump over and try and get in front of Andrew. So coming out of the bottom end of the race course, it's going to be Andrew Tate there first. We're inside 1:55 until the start. Heat 1A presented for the Lake Guntersville Hydrofest by the Redstone Federal Credit Union. 45 seconds until the start. It looks like it's going to be Tate in 1, Peabody in 2, and J. Michael Kelly on the outside as they'll go up to the top end of the race course. Now, it's those timing marks that they really haven't had a lot of time to experiment with here. But the idea is to take a race boat at 180 miles an hour, put it right here on the start-finish line, wide open when the clock strikes 0. And that's going to happen in 18 seconds. It's about a 16-second run off of the top end of the race course. And right now we are at 11 seconds. Whatever the timing is, they're going to come down here together because we are inside 8. In fact, we are inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And finally, we are racing as Corey Peabody takes them across start-finish line. 21 months in waiting, and Corey Peabody leads him across down to the lower end of the race course. He's got J. Michael Kelly with him on the outside. Where Tate's right there on the inside in the Graham Trucking. So off the corner down there, it is Corey Peabody in the middle, and on his left and on the inside is Andrew Tate on the outside. You cannot see him. It is J. Michael Kelly. The start was good. Everybody was legal at the start. A real strong run up the backstairs. Oh, look at Tate start to gobble him up a little bit on the inside. Tater on. You haven't seen Kelly. He's right there with him. Top end of the race course, Corey Peabody. Got to leave room in there for Andrew Tate. He certainly does. Plenty of lane space. Kelly on the outside. We're going to go 3 times around here. And it is Corey Peabody from lane number 2 with the lead. And second place will go to J. Michael Kelly at the end of 1. Tate is in 3rd with the lane position on the inside. Corey Peabody driving that 9, driving it like a rocket. He likes this boat. He says he's getting more and more comfortable every day. Oh, look at the race for second place down there. JMK on the outside. You can see the skid fin wall. Tater on the inside. But it's still Corey Peabody coming smartly down the backstretch. He is showing you that there is no question that top qualifying speed was legit. And he's 3/4 of the way up the backstretch right now. Look at the race for second place. J. Michael Kelly on the outside. JMK is driving an awfully big race course out there in lane number 3. And now the white flag will be displayed. The drivers will come down. That white flag tells them they got 1 lap to go. Tate right on the buoy row. Tate was right on the buoy. I don't know if he hit it, but he did go in. Where is Andrew Tate? Oh, there he is. He hooked to the inside of the race course. We'll get back to Andrew Tate. Our leader is Corey Peabody. Second place, his teammate, J. Michael Kelly. That is, from my perspective, that is not going to be an issue with Corey Peabody not giving Andrew Tate enough room up there. I think there was plenty of lane space in there. I think Andrew just got a little tight to the buoy row, maybe fell in a hole and hooked it. I was about to say I thought J. Michael Kelly might sit back and let this one go, pick up the 300 second place points. But JMK is starting to move smartly up the backstretch. He's in the rooster tail right now of his buddy, Corey Peabody. Corey Peabody shocking everybody here with a dominant run in our Heat 1A presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. He's just got to come off the top end of the race course and come down and pick up a checkered flag. It flies for him. Corey Peabody driving a 9. Wow. Pinnacle Peak Consulting Group comes in first. J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities, the U8, will come home in second place. Wow. Shan going, you got this thing blue. I need to know exactly what kind of blue. She didn't get it. And she went up to a young fan. I believe his name was Colton. And she goes, Colton, what shade of blue is that? And he goes, looks like royal blue to me. And she goes, royal blue it is.
I'll miss the Carnival Orange, but it's a beautiful boat, the royal blue with the chartreuse, and I'm sure
But
they
Anna
got
wasn't
that paint
announcing.
from McClintock Preferred Finishes out of Kentucky. That's their main paint supply.
There you go.
Mom?
But I have one
Can you
more
text
tidbit
Helen and Tate that I'm
for you.
on?
Carnival Orange is still on the U11. Right where the blue ends and morphs in toward the back of the boat and the chartreuse, there is a lightning bolt in there, and it is Carnival Orange. So you still got it.
We'll get that tabulated in.
We'll have it. All right, checking a watch here. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the start of Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. Inside 6 minutes, Dave Villwalk into Beacon Plumbing. Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Jamie Nielsen, J&D Hydraulics out of Auburn, Washington. And just as I did with Covington, I make a comment that everybody must know where Auburn, Washington is, and probably most of you don't. Just a little bit south of the city of Seattle, on the west side of the mountains, by SeaTac Airport, not too far. It was my residence up until last September when I moved over to the east side of the state. 8-1B. 5 minutes and 15 seconds. 5:15 to the start. Heat 1B, Redstone Federal Credit Union. We got boats on the water. We got boats coming our way. Five minutes to the start of Heat 1B. So we'll pick them out of the sun as they come our way. Absolutely gorgeous conditions here on Lake Guntersville. The cloud cover filters out a little bit of the sun and the heat every once in a while. And the water conditions are great. Top end of the race course, Jamie Nielsen driving the 11. Chartreuse and royal blue J&Ds. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. 4:10 is Jamie Nielsen. They struggled here early in the morning, but they've got the boat up and running now, and it's looking pretty good. There is Jeff Bernard driving the Goodman Real Estate. Presents the Miss Home Straight to U1. Jeff Bernard out of the Pacific Northwest, looking only 4 now. Looking for Dave Villwalk in the 40 at the 3:45 mark. Monitor the radio here. See if we can find. We are missing Dave Villwalk. Not hearing anything official right now at the 3 minute and 20-second mark as Jamie Nielsen cuts the race course. Jeff going to do the same? Yes, he is. Jeff's going to do the same maneuver as Jamie. Coming up on 3 minutes until the start. 3 minutes. Boy, what a development this would be, Jeff Ayler, if all this anticipation to get Dave Villwalk back in the seat and get him out racing. What a development if he did not show here for his first heat of racing.
Let's hope they can fix the problem if there is one at the dock of the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Dave Villwalk, the all-time winningest driver in the sport of H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. 67 victories, making his comeback after a 7-year absence. We hope he can make it, and Brad, he has to be on the course in a planing attitude prior to 1 minute.
And it is right now 2:30 until the start, so he's got about $1.20 to get that boat up on a plane, as Jeff said. He can't be plowing water, and it is a hefty penalty if he joins the race course after the 1 minute mark, so we'll watch that. And he's got about 1:10 A minute 10 to make it out on the race course. Meanwhile, our two boats that are in the heat are at the top end of the course. Jeff Bernard is the first boat up there. Watch for Jeff to sit it right in lane number 1. I like where he sits right now. I think he can come all the way down and go all the way down to the lower corner. As we are now inside 2 minutes, we are at 1:50 until the start. Jeff actually would have an opportunity down here, I think, to cut the course if he wanted to. It's however he wants to play it. I think he's got plenty of time if he wanted to hit the throttle here and maybe run hard down and up the backstretch, do a lap in 1:30, don't know. But Jamie Nielsen might want to do something fancy here and maybe cut the race course at $1.25 before the start, but it looks like both of them are going to go all the way down. Jeff Ayler, 20 seconds, still no Dave Villwalk.
Looks like Villwalk will be a no-show here in Unlimited 1B. And Brad, right now I expect both drivers to be well behaved. It appears Jeff Bernard will be in lane 1. Jamie Nielsen in 2. That's good news for the J&D's team after struggles this morning. They'll make 1B. Brad, we're a minute away.
1 minute right there, and Dave Villwalk is not on the water, so the Beacon Plumbing to U40 is going to be a no-show. Jeff Bernard halfway up the backstretch. Inside 1 minute, make it 50 seconds until the start of our Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. We're going to have a small field here, only a couple of boats, a little bit of a match race, but they can still hook it up and run side by side. Jamie Nielsen wants to get out there and measure his boat a bit. And what they mean by that is he wants to go out and run alongside Jeff Bernard, see what he's got. This is only the second or third time the boat has really run. Today was the first time the boat got in the water and they started to put things together to see what they had. Now it's the first time they can actually go out and run the boat in competition. They're coming off the top end of the race course with 12 seconds until the start. Make it 10, 9, 8 as they come to the start. Can't cross the start-finish line before the clock strikes 0. We're inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, and it looks like a legal start to me, and they're dead even as they cross the start-finish line. Jamie Nielsen and Jeff Bernard hit the line exactly together with a lot of boat speed. It is a good start. Down to the lower end of the race course. Watch for Bernard on the inside. Got a nice lane on the inside. Got a nice corner, but you can see that skid fin on the outside. Jamie Nielsen is right there. Up the backstretch, Bernard now starts to open up a little bit, but just a little bit. He's got about 3, maybe 4 boat lengths up the backstretch. Jamie Nielsen's hanging with him, Jeff Ayler.
Brad, they work into turn number 2. Bernard has the advantage on the inside, shorter way around, and Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Nielsen back in second, and J&D's about 6 boat lengths off the turn. Bernard in front.
Bernard is in front, swings it out to about lane number 2. Jamie slides out to about lane 3, maybe 3.5. Coming down still very close together. Good racing here in our Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. Now it's Jeff Bernard out by a full rooster tail. As they go down toward the lower end of the race course here on lap number 2, and it is 2 of 3 times around this 2.5-mile race course. Bernard on the inside, Nielsen on the outside. Nielsen still hanging back there, staying within the rooster tail of Jeff Bernard, at least through the corner when there's that big wall of water off the skin fin. But now you see Jeff Bernard start to move it out. He's got a full rooster tail now. He's got clean sailing. He's also got Jimmy Shane up here who is talking to him on the radio, and he's going to tell Jeff where the good water is. Jeff Ayler, I think I can tell him where the good water is. This water right now is beautiful.
Beautiful water here in Unlimited 1B. You see Jeff Bernard extending the lead, make it about 1 rooster tail as they'll come down to get the white flag. 2 in the books and 1 to go. And right now, Brad, Bernard trying to keep the number 1 alive, get those 400 points, put it back on the trailer, look to tomorrow.
Absolutely. Jeff Bernard will come down, looks to his right, picks up a white flag, 1 to go. Driving to U1, Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Tell you what, Jeff Bernard has got to be happy, but Jamie Nielsen driving the 11, Scott and Shannon Rainey, with the way this day started, the way the test session went over in the Tri-Cities when they never got the boat in the water, they have got to be very, very pleased at the way their boat is running right now. It's a 300-point run right now for Jamie Nielsen in second place. He's going to sit back, he's going to take it easy, he's going to let Bernard go. Second place at 300 points is nothing to sneeze at, as they are at the top end of the race course on the third of 3 times around. The checkered flag is hanging here on start finish. Bernard negotiates the top end of the race course, goes out to about lane 2, maybe 2.5 or 3. He will come down. The checkered flag is waving. Jeff Bernard, winner of Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. 400 points for Jeff Bernard, but a nice run for Jamie Nielsen. He'll pick up 300 points, and they will be really pleased with that second place finish. I just high-fived one of their crew members. All he said to me was, baby steps. Well, they just took some good steps, Jeff. They've got to be really happy in that 11 camp right now.
Brad, you hit the nail on the head on that final time around for the 11, the J&Ds. 300 points for them right now with the struggles they had this morning. It's like $300,000. But 2 boats with heat wins here to begin the Southern Cup activity. Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak Consultant, winner of 1A with 400. Jeff Bernard with 400 here, and Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. When I came down to the Southern Cup, those were the 2 drivers I didn't think would get 400 after the first section. This shakes things up for tomorrow.
It certainly does, and it's certain.
Is that your boat or my boat?
Yours. The really bright one's yours.
Okay, no, but the noise?
Yeah, that was yours.
Okay.
Good heat. Nice heat. We'll do that draw after the space tech truck. So once I hear it, I'll come and get you.
Okay, I need to film them. Thank you. Reggie.
Yeah, I will right now. Yeah, I'm right next to Emily. Okay, he said we're live already. No, you're fine. I'm right behind you. Like I said about Emily and her mom, they were like twins. They both have a lot of lines in the back of their legs. I had to do something about that. Mine was getting they went to just come out. Nice job, Jim. Thank you. That is a gorgeous suit. Actually, like that gold on Jeff better than your boat. There's an island down there nearby. Live.
Hi, live here with Jeff Bernard, winner of Heat 1B. Jeff, what'd you see out there?
It was a good run after the kind of the mess we were in testing. We kept fighting, getting closer and closer on fuel. We got it up there, made a gear change. Boat's running good. Best water that we had all day. It was a lot of fun.
Pan up a bit.
What else did you?
Good.
So water was good. What did you see fighting for lanes?
It's going to be interesting with the 80-mile-an-hour thing being on the race pack now. I don't think I really pushed the issue there, but I don't know how much more could have really pushed the issue. Come final heat time, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. The whole crew did an awesome job. They've been working their butt off today, so we're going to go have a nice dinner and start off in the morning with Jimmy testing and drive the first heat. And be back in the boat later in the day, and hopefully we can do something in the final.
Do you anticipate making any changes before the next heat?
We'll look at data. We don't know. that's Mike Hanson's call. So we'll look at data. The boat felt really good, but like I said, that was just 2 boats out there and better water than we had in qualifying. So it was nice to get a good boat ride like that, or good water, and go out there with another boat and get the bearings under it. It's been a long time since we've been in these things, and not much time to prepare before the first heat today, especially when we didn't go to the Tri-Cities test session. So I'm feeling good. Now we got to get Jimmy feeling good.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, now he wants you to go to Jamie.
Okay.
Jamie? Uh-oh.
Certainly.
Limited Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA. Very happy to have them on board. It is the second section of heat races for our H1 Unlimiteds. We ran Heat 1A and Heat 1B yesterday. Those heats were selected as far as the boats that competed in them via a blind draw prior to the 2 heats. Once those heats were run yesterday, all of those boat numbers / ping pong balls were put into a hat. A fan was asked to come forward and pull those balls out again in another blind draw, and that's how we selected our boats that will compete in our Heat 2A coming up here in about 7 minutes. Let's take a look at them. We've got 4 boats. It's the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, J. Michael Kelly, a silver and black boat with a white cowling on it. J. Michael picked up a solid second place finish yesterday. U1 Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. Got a driver change in this one this morning. Jimmy Shane is going to climb back in the cockpit of that one. He turned a lap this morning at 160 miles an hour. Sent a message up and down the pit area. They're here to race and they're ready to go. Also in our field for Heat 2A, the U11 J&D Chartreuse and Royal Blue, Jamie Nielsen got a solid second place finish. He brings 300 points into our second section of heats. Rounding out Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the U440 Bucket List Racing, predominantly orange. Make that Tennessee orange. Bucket List Racing, Dustin Eccles. They need points. It is questionable if they are going to make it in this heat, but they are drawn into it. We will call them 6 minutes. 6 minutes until the start of Heat 2A. Typically on a race course, Jeff Ayler, you know this, they don't let the boats come out until the 5-minute mark. But because that pit area is so far over there, they're going to let them come out now at the 6-minute mark.
At the long distance, a great gesture by H1 Unlimited. Drivers out, very straight. That's what makes it so unique. Your lane is not assigned to you. When you leave the pit dock, you'll explain that. That's why when you draw these balls out to set these heats, anybody can win. Depends on what lane you're in, get a good start.
Absolutely. You've got to get a good lane. You got to have clean water. You got to be at the start-finish line when a clock strikes 0, and you got to have a lot of boat speed. You better be moving when you get there. If you're a tick early and cross the start-finish line before the clock strikes 0, you win the opportunity to run an extra lap. We've got boats on a race course. Jamie Nielsen's going to bring them away from the pit area. Cities, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to the start of our Heat 2A. Coming off the top end of the race course here, Jamie Nielsen had their troubles yesterday. Most of them, we believe, were electrical related, similar to the problems they had at the Tri-City test session. They got them ironed out. The boat ran great. Jeff Haler, quick run down the front straightaway. Boat looks good.
Jamie Nielsen comes in here with 300 points. Brad, he's cutting through the infield right now. That is a legal maneuver on this race course in the race before the race. Jamie is second yesterday in 1B. Brad, all the boats have to be in a planing attitude during the milling period, 80 miles per hour. That is monitored by H1 Unlimited through GPS. You have to have your lane established prior to the entrance pin of turn number 2 to the left of us for 3 minutes and 45 seconds until the start. Your lane is not assigned to you, which we mentioned. Brad, this is what we call the race before the race. This is where the games begin.
They really do begin right now, and Jeff and I were talking prior to this. J. Michael Kelly is a master at getting the inside lane. We have seen him and Jimmy Shane go at this so many times in the past, where J. Michael Kelly has been able to steal lane 1 by cutting the course at the last minute legally. Speaking of Jimmy Shane with 3 minutes and 15 seconds, speaking of Jimmy Shane, here he comes across start-finish line, and the Goodman Real Estate presents this home street. It is Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA. Our boats are spread apart on the race course. I don't think we're going to see the bucket list racing out here. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the start, Jeff. That means the 440's got less than 2 minutes to get out here.
Every boat has to be in a planing attitude prior to the 1 minute period. If you're not in a planing attitude, then you're illegal starter. Still waiting for the bucket list to leave the dock. Brad, we're approaching 240. 3 boats up and running. Well-matched field here. Weather conditions ideal. Water conditions perfect. Day number 2 of the Southern Cup.
Let's go racing. We're going to do it. Heat 2A, presented by the TVA. Kelly, right in front of us here, comes across the start-finish line hard and then hangs it on the hook. That's what we call it. Now, keep an eye on Kelly with, what's the time? 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I don't think he can cut the course now. He could legally, but from a timing standpoint, I'm not sure that would work. You see, Jamie Nielsen just did. He cut the... Here comes Kelly. Kelly's going to come across. He's going to try and get inside Jimmy Shane, who's coming off the top end of the race course. Legal maneuver by both Jamie Nielsen and J. Michael Kelly. Now we'll see how Kelly and Nielsen want to play it going down toward the causeway. Still a minute 50 seconds until our start. They actually are a little bit early. Jamie Nielsen is a tad early. And remember, he can't go below 80 miles an hour. They'll have to go through tech inspection to find out if he really did, but he knows that. He can still make a legal start from there, but he's close. He's close. My timing marks, Jeff, you usually don't want to be at the start-finish line in 2 minutes. He was close. So Nielsen comes slowly off the lower corner down there. Kelly is in great shape, and you know Jimmy Shane behind everybody. He's in perfect shape. He can put his foot in it at any time and come up and join the other 2 boats. Now Nielsen has all of a sudden started to go. He knows he's too early. He can't cut the course down here at the lower end. He's got to go to the top end. So he put his foot in it. He's coming across the race course now. He's going to have to jump in behind. Watch him cut the course again. 1 minute. 1 minute. Now watch Nielsen go. Go, Jamie. Hang it. Here he goes. Nielsen will cut the course. He was too early. He was going to get up to the top end before he wanted to be there and to be legal behind the start-finish line. He determined that he was going to have to drop below 80 miles an hour. A third place, last place finish was better than a disqualification. He made the right choice. 35 seconds until our start. Top end of the race course, and Kelly's early up there at 30 seconds now. You gotta like where Bernard sits. See if Kelly doesn't go wide to scruff off a bunch of speed. Now, Jimmy Shane, Jamie Nielsen, top end of the race course. Kelly's going to come down here on an inside lane, but he's lacking boat speed. That's the other piece to the puzzle. Got to be on time. Got to have clean water. You gotta have boat speed. Kelly doesn't have it on the inside. 7 seconds, 6. Here comes our start. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing in our Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority. First across the line was J. Michael Kelly, but he didn't have boat speed. He got gobbled up very, very good by the other two. Look for Jimmy Shane. Now on the outside is Jamie Nielsen, but you've got all three of them down there in the corner. Great sight. The start was legal. Everybody was legal. Now it's time to just accelerate off the corner. Look at Jamie Nielsen on the outside. And here comes Kelly. And here comes Shane. Yes, Jeff Ayler, this is a triple-decker. Up the backstretch, they are side by side by side. You could put a blanket across all three of them. Kelly with the lane position on the inside. Got a little bit of a lead. Look at Nielsen in the 11. Oh, they got to give him room in there, and they did. Good luck off the top end of the race course. Kelly in 1, Shane in 2, Nielsen on the outside. Coming down to put one in the books, the first of 3. It is Kelly and Jimmy Shane. Kelly by a boat length. Jeff Ayler, this is dynamite racing in our Heat 2A.
Excellent dueling into turn number 1. Kelly to the inside, shorter way around. Shane to the outside, Nielsen back. There is Kelly at the apex with Brad. Shane is hidden in the tail.
Shane is there. He's on the outside. You still got 3 boats sharing the same rooster tail. But it is J. Michael Kelly up the backstretch in that Miss Tri-Cities, the U8. Look at him rock and roll. Shane doesn't want to let him go. Gonna hang with him on the outside. They are 3/4 of the way up the backstretch now. Kelly will set it up for the top end of the race course. Nielsen begins to drop back just a little bit. This is becoming a 2-boat affair out front, and it's rapidly becoming a J. Michael Kelly affair. Kelly, lane 1 on the inside, negotiates the top end of the race course. He will come down, look to the right. He will see the green flag. He will come down and put it in the books. It is lap number 2. Here he comes, J. Michael Kelly, opened up. He has opened up a full rooster tail. They've got a green flag up, but they have just changed it to a white flag. White flag, 1 lap to go, Jeff.
Each boat accepted the white flag last time around for all 3 participants. Brad, dynamite dueling after 1 lap, but Kelly gained superiority in that turn the last time around. I think Shane will let him go, settle for those 300 points.
300 points are big, and yes, I think he will now. I think he thinks the shouting is over in this one. Jimmy Shane on the outside. He's tipping his head in there going, all right, if I'm going to run with this JMK guy, I may have to be on the inside of him because Kelly has been dominant here in Heat 2A, presented by the TVA. Top end of the race course. Here comes Kelly. All he's got to do is negotiate the exit pin, slides out to about lane 2, and it'll be J. Michael Kelly. He will come down, look to the right, see the checkered flag, and 400 points to Daryl and Vanessa Strong's U8, the Miss Tri-Cities, J. Michael Kelly. Jimmy Shane will come home in 2nd place driving. The Goodman Real Estate presents the home street. And Jeff, from my way of thinking, maybe the surprise in that heat is right here with Jamie Nielsen. They ran well.
Jamie Nielsen done a wonderful job. He was just a little bit off on his timing marks, but I think the speed is on the upswing for the number 11 J&Ds. But race fans, how'd you like that after 1 lap? We had a triple-decker on the back chute.
2A. Yeah. Okay.
2B, brought to you by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA. Sponsors of our Heat
So obviously
2A.
I'm not on.
Also sponsors of our Heat 2B. They've been on board in the past, we think. TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, for their participation in the 2021 Lake Huntersville Hydrofest and the race
Something's messed up.
for the Southern Cup. It is Heat 2B, scheduled to go at 11:30. We'll be close. 3 boats on the docket for this one. 3 boats.
Did it work
Some
right?
Bad news. Our 3 boats include the U12 Graham Trucking. Andrew Tate will handle the driving duties. Andrew
You're
did
fine.
not get any points in qualifying yesterday, so he comes in with 225 points earned in Heat 1A, run yesterday. 225. Andrew Tate for the Graham Trucking. He'll be looking to score points here in this one. The U40, the Beacon Plumbing, Dave Vilwalk. Talk about needing to score points. You will remember, if you were here yesterday, they were unable to answer the bell for their first heat. Therefore, they did not get any racing points and come into this heat with only 70 points earned in qualification. The bad news is they are not going to answer the bell for Heat 2B. Apparently, there are issues with the gearbox, which they can fix, but we're being told they just aren't going to be able to be done in time.
Okay, where did
Unfortunately,
you get? Okay.
Dave Vilwalk, the 40 is not going to answer the call. We're going to round out the field, and it's going to be a 2-boat field, albeit a good one. The U9, the Pinnacle Peak Consulting Group, Corey Peabody. He's been perfect so far, Jeff Ayler. He's got 500 points, 100 points for top qualifier, 400 points for a dynamite first place finish yesterday.
Corey done a wonderful job yesterday for 6:55 from the start, and Brad, disappointing for the Beacon Plumbing gearbox issue. They are eligible to run the third heat, but these points, even though 2 boats in 2B, in previous years, the Southern Cup 4 boats start up on the front row. These are valuable points coming up here in 2B. You want to be in the top 4 points to get on that front row of the final. That's your best chance of winning the Southern Cup.
Absolutely, you've got to be in it to win it. And right now, it has been a very tough weekend. Unfortunate weekend for U40, Dave Vilwalk in the Beacon Plumbing. And Jeff, the downside, we're also anxious to see Dave back in the race boat. We've seen him come out and run. We've seen him qualify. We've seen him do this and that. We want to see him race. So far, we haven't gotten it.
My agenda coming to Guntersville was first to see you and your family, and second to see Vilwalk race. Get that fixed. I want to see you in the third section.
You heard it from Jeff Ayler. I'm with you on that one. Where are we? 5:50. 5:50. The start boats can come away from the dock as the seconds ago.
Great job of the TVA once again. Glad to be on board here for the Southern Cup. Brad, we're approaching the 5-minute period. I see Bruce Purnell well away from us in the background. Appears to be Andrew Tate in the Graham Trucking. We are 5 minutes away.
5 minutes away. I am so glad that you called that, Andrew Tate. The colorblind guy up here wouldn't have been able to tell on that one, although Corey's boat is much lighter and brighter. Andrew Tate will make his way across Lake Guntersville. There's Corey. Corey is up, driving the 9. 4:40 until the start, 4:40. Our 2 boats are away from the dock. We're coming up on 4:30 until the start. I've got more people holding watches in front of me. My goodness, if we get this wrong, we're really doing things bad. Whoa, we've even got timing marks here. My goodness, that would be an interesting sheet to take a look at. You notice he didn't show it to us for very long. 4:10. 4:10 until the start here. Our boats have made their way across the pond. Andrew Tate will come off the top end. They've had a little bit of a difficult time this weekend. Things haven't really gone their way. They were in that dynamite Heat 1A. that we had yesterday, and they were in the thick of things on an inside lane until Andrew went inside 2 buoys up there at the top end of the course. I thought yesterday that he hooked Jeff Ayler. I saw the tape of it this morning. He just basically, the lane was getting pretty tight in there. He turned on the inside. He didn't hook, but he went inside. He was legal. He went back and picked up the buoys. And some new rules on that one. You hook, you go inside that safety zone up there at the top end. That's an immediate disqualification in years past. Not now.
Yeah, it was a tough break for Andrew. He had the lane positioning, but the boat speed was not there. And Brad, as you mentioned, if you're in lane 1, if you're not there up toward the front, that lane goes away. You get wet, and that ruins your heat. Right now, these 2 boats, don't make a mistake. Make a good start, drive clean, put it back on the trailer, get the points you can get, and look to the 3rd section. These 2 boats right now, with only 2 in here, the start and the finish, depending on the 3rd run, they look good to make the front row of the final.
They really do. Even, yeah, the worst you can do if you're finished and you're legal is 300 points. They'll take them. So our boats are exactly across the course from each other. And here comes Corey Peabody. He's going to cut the race course and come back to front. We've seen this a couple of times. Looking at the watch, 2:30 until the start. Andrew Tate is already down toward the bottom end of the race course. Watch Corey here. Let's see if Corey doesn't, what do you think, Jeff? Maybe he'll jump across. He could make it. If he wanted to hang it on the hook, he could have and jumped in front of Andrew. He decided not to. He will go all the way down. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate comes off the lower end of the race course, slowly coming up the backstretch. Quick note here, Hydrocross autograph session. They're going to be there in just a moment. Go on over there. They will be there momentarily. Hydrocross jet ski autograph session happening in the next couple of minutes. $1.50 till our start. Now it'll get a little bit more interesting up at the top end of the race course, Jeff Ayler. We got our 2 boats together. Andrew can look out the right side there and say hello to his buddy Corey.
Right now, Brad, Andrew Tate in 1, Corey Peabody in 2. You have to have your lane established prior to the entrance pin at turn number 2. The next time around, you have to be in a planing attitude at the 1-minute period to be an eligible starter. Both boats appear to be in fine fashion to accomplish that. We're 120 away. Name of the game in this one, don't make a mistake. Leave your racing partner some room. Finish, put it on the trailer.
Yeah, and I think the way they're coming down the front straightaway here is the way they're going to race, because Corey really can't go anywhere right now. Not if he's staying right alongside Andrew. Now Andrew gooses it a little bit and jumps out in front of him. We're at the 1-minute mark, so these guys are going to run pretty quick up the backstretch. They've got to kill a minute. They will go all the way around the race course. You see Corey on the outside. Yeah, these guys are running pretty hard through the bottom end of the race course because they got 45 seconds until the start. They cannot cut the race course from the back to the front now. Before they come down to the start, they have to go around all the buoys at the top end of the race course. Okay, they've made up their time. They have now been able to pull their foot a little bit. Just now, inside 30 seconds until the start, going to be Andrew Tate in lane number 1, Corey Peabody in lane 2. 20 seconds till the start. You heard Jeff Ayler say it. He couldn't have been more correct. Run this one clean, guys. There's a lot of points on the table. Just pick some of them up, put your boat on the trailer, all in one piece. Inside 10 seconds, inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And we are racing in Heat 2B, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority. The start is good. The start is good. Now down to the lower end of the race course. This will be interesting. Corey had so much speed yesterday. Is he going to be able to drive around Andrew Tate? As Andrew Tate found the beans into 12. Well, so far he has. Tater comes off the corner. You can't see Corey. He's right there with him. He's about a boat length and a half back. Good racing up the backstretch. Boy, it looks like one boat, Jeff. It's 2.
They work into turn number 2. Andrew Tate on the inside, but Peabody is there hidden, Brad. Tate will get there first. Hangs it on the hook. Peabody, where is he? Brad, when they come to you, you should see both boats off the turn.
All right, look for Corey Peabody. Where is he? There he is, right on the hip of Andrew Tate. Great call, and he went inside. He hooked inside of Andrew. He's still running, but he jumped to the inside. That cost him a carload of real estate. Clearly there is damage on the air scoop above the cockpit of Corey Peabody's boat. I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, the boat just moved hard to the left. He got into the rooster tail of Andrew Tate, and that's going to be the story here of our Heat 2B. But, Jeff, back to what you talked about. He's still running. He's still running. Everything is good. Now, just run clean, pick up some points.
As we mentioned in the warm-up period, don't make a mistake. You just saw it happen off turn number 2, working the first lap. And Brad Peabody limping on the back chute. He has 1 1/2 laps to go to score 300 points, but right now, it's all Andrew Tate in front.
Yeah, this has got to be a real good uplift here for the U12 and a Graham Trucking. The white flag is going to go up. It is going to go up for Andrew Tate. He was driving the daylights out of that 12. Unfortunately, the last time down, Corey got caught in his rooster tail. That was going to be a strong run down the front straightaway on our lap number 1. But now it's the white flag, lap 1 to go for Andrew Tate, and he can pick up 400 big points. When Corey comes by, look above the canopy, look above the cockpit. You'll see that air scoop is not correct. He's got definite damage up there. And only because I was in the pit area on Friday night, I know for a fact that there is another air scoop for the 9. It is white. It's what they've used before. They will work on that boat and get it ready. Obviously, the boat is running fine. He's just taking it easy, and to Jeff's point, picking up the second place at 300 points. Andrew Tate, meanwhile, working through the top end of the race course all by himself. The bright red Graham Trucking, so much work done on that boat over the last 2 years. Starting to pay off, and it's going to pay off with a checkered flag here. In Heat 2B, presented by the TVA, Andrew Tate picks up his first heat win for Rob Graham, Tom Anderson, and the race team of the Graham Trucking. It's Andrew Tate. The story of yesterday was all Corey Peabody, and I'm not sure the story of today wasn't going to start the same way. He was going to make a charge, Jeff. He was coming.
Corey Peabody with that mistake, but Brad, he will limp across the start-finish line buoy to get these 300 points in second. And Pinnacle Peak Consulting, Heat 2B, brought to you by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and that was close to being an absolute disaster. He got in that tail.
Next up on our schedule, you believe?
National Heat 2B should be coming up next. We'll get boats on the water here very shortly, but until we do, let's throw it back to the station. Our favorite DJ back there spins this. Here we go. Here's all that stack of wax back in the day, and I know you have no idea what I was talking about, young man. Get on some tunes.
Orange and black, so let's hope they can get it out and make a run. Meanwhile, check the clock. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Jamie Nielsen cut the race course, got himself on the backstretch in front of Jeff Bernard. So we're just having a real slow roll here at 2:30 for the start. Nothing fancy right yet. Jeff's been pretty quiet, but then we've only got 2 boats there.
Situation as in 2B, everybody needs to be well behaved right now. Drive your race, drive a clean race. This is the final preliminary section of the weekend. Get those points, get ready for the Southern Cup final. You do not need to make a mistake here, as we saw back in 2B with Corey Peabody. Brad Luce, we're approaching the 2-minute period. 2 minutes away.
2 minutes to the start of our Heat 3A, presented by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. It's the 2021 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest, the race for the Southern Cup. Coming up on 1:45 until our start, 1:45 to the start. So watch for Jamie to go all the way down to the lower end of the race course. Watch for Jeff to go down there behind him. I like where Jamie sits this time a whole lot better than I did last time, although he's still a little bit early, I think, Jeff. My timing mark on this race course, and it's totally unofficial. I always say you don't want to be at that entrance pin at $1.30, and he was down there about 120, 121. So we got 113 this time. If Jamie can hold it above 80 miles an hour, he was very close in that previous heat. They really had to look at the data, but he was legal, so I think he'll be okay this time. But if he wants it, I think he can secure lane one. Jeff, will he do it with that boat? He hasn't spent much time in it.
I think it's an ideal situation right now, Brad. The 1 minute period is come and gone. Vilwalk again. An unfortunate did not start. We're down to two. Jamie Nielsen and Jeff Bernard, 45 seconds away. Mr. Luce, bring him to the green flag.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ayler. Now keep an eye on that black and gold boat. Now you see the pedals start to go down. Look for Jeff to really try and run this thing hard to the start-finish line. Look at the speed with the 1 versus the speed at the 11. We've still got a lot of real estate to cover, and we've still got 25 seconds. It's only about a 12-second run off that exit pin down to the start-finish line. My watch says 16. So they may have to hold it back a little bit, and you see the drivers having to pull back a little bit. When are they going to put their foot in it? We're inside 10, coming up on 8. Now they start to accelerate to the line. We are 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark! And we are racing in Heat 3A, presented by Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. It's a good start. They were close. Those were probably the two best starts of the weekend. On the outside is Bernard, inside Nielsen. Nielsen stows his nose first. Where is Jeff? There he is on the outside, the home street. Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. But look at Jamie Nielsen run right with him. Nielsen on the inside, Bernard on the outside. Good deck-to-deck boat racing up the backstretch. Now, the rules say that Jeff Bernard cannot move to the left and take lane 1 unless he has 7 boat lengths on Jamie Nielsen. Clearly, he doesn't have it. Nielsen's right there a boat length back, so Jeff Bernard's got to get him 30 feet of lane space. He does, driving him clean, as we like to say. Now it's acceleration off the corner, trying to come down to put the first of 3 laps in the book. Jeff Bernard on the outside. Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street, but he's only got about 3 boat lengths. Really good racing, Jeff. He's got about 3 boat lengths on.
Picture perfect dueling as they go into turn number 1, working the second time here in the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce Unlimited 3A. Bernard is there, but Brad Nielsen shorter way around. Will he tighten it up?
Boy, Nielsen is just not going to go away. He's in that left side rear view. Oh, he picked up the right sponson. He really flew it. He, Jamie Nielsen, but he settled it back down. He is trying to run down Jeff Bernard. We were talking to Jimmy Shane over here about 10 minutes ago, and he said, the boat's a rocket. When he's talking about the boat, he's talking about the home street, which means Jamie Nielsen's got a rocket by the tail as well. Top end of the race course. Not much has changed here. It's about 2 boat lengths. Bernard drives him clean, gives him plenty of room. Off the corner, they will come down. They'll find a white flag. There's 1 to go. Jeff Bernard. This looks like the last lap, Jeff.
2 complete, 1 to go, and Unlimited 3A brought to you by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. Bernard in front as they work into turn number 1, but Brad Nielsen's there. Will he close?
He's going to have to use that inside lane to his advantage and tighten. Look at, there he is again. Nielsen is just not going to go away. He's back about 4 boat lengths as they get to the exit pin of turn 1. This is the third of 3 times around the course. Jamie Nielsen hanging right with the Miss Home Street. Great racing here. We only had 2 boats in the heat, but let me tell you, they're putting on a great show as these guys are approaching probably 175, 185 miles an hour, right about there at the top end of the chute. Nielsen closes it up a little bit. Nielsen right there. He's back by a boat length or 2. Off the corner, going to be Nielsen and Bernard. Jamie's got some extra beans this time. This is going to be close. I think it's going to be Bernard. It is going to be Jeff Bernard by about a boat length and a half. Holy smoke. Jamie Nielsen really showed us something there. Jamie closed in that last quarter.
Boy, the U11 J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen, you see cutting into the infield. Let's hope there's not a problem with the 11. But fans at Lake Guntersville, how'd you like that deck-to-deck dueling?
I think they like it, Jeff. That's good stuff. I know. Ready to go. Despite what happened, and there was some damage to that boat, not just to the air scoop, but also to the front canard wing. There was some damage, no problem. They've got it taken care of. 5 minutes, 35 seconds, 5:35 until the start. One thing we need to mention, we've been talking about how you can tell the U8 and differentiate it from the U9. The difference has been there's been a white cowling, which is the big air scoop just above and behind the canopy, a white cowling and air scoop on the U8. It was silver on the U9. Well, that one was damaged. The only one they have as a spare is white. So they're both going to be white out here, but we'll help you keep them straight. Coming up on 5 minutes, mark. 5 minutes, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 boats on my sheet of paper here. We got 3 rooster tails coming across. Jeff, you ready to go? This should be fun.
Brad, it should be fun. 1 point as all 3 come out. Andrew Tate has scored this weekend, but Brad, I don't think it's Andrew's caliber we've seen the first 2 heats of the weekend. I think he'd like to get a good start here, see how that Graham Trucking handles turn number 1 at full throttle in top competition. I think Andrew would like a good show here.
I think he would too, and you just said a very good point there. He's going to do it in good competition. It's an opportunity for him to go out there and measure himself against these guys. And these guys are the strong boats of the weekend in more ways than one. Daryl and Vanessa Strong owning the 2 boats. But they have been very, very strong this weekend. Top 2 qualifiers are sitting on the top in points right now. 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 5 seconds until our start. There is J. Michael Kelly's boat. That is the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. Coming down the straightaway here, this is Andrew Tate, driving the predominantly red, trimmed in black and silver, the Graham Trucking. Kelly cuts the course to the back, and now you see the white cowling. The white cowling on the deck of the U9 of Corey Peabody. To Jeff Ayler's point, Corey Peabody had that issue in the last heat. He wants to go out here, run clean, run strong, but make sure he finishes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 3:30. Here comes JMK with a legal maneuver across the race course here from back to front. 3:20 until the start. J. Michael Kelly will now cruise slowly down the front straightaway. He'll pick up some timing marks that his radio man will tell him you need to be here at such time, and now you are there, do this, do that. It's all about timing runs. Look at this, gonna have a couple of boats get close together here. This could get a little bit tight. Watch it. Whoop. boy. There may be some conversations about that one. There are rules about how that has to get played, and I'm not sure those rules were in place right there. It's tough to see without being able to look from above and see the lane spacing. The boat that is on the race course has the right of way. We'll let the officials make that call. 2:30 and still until the start. J. Michael Kelly leads the parade up the backstretch. Andrew Tate running second place behind him, and here comes Corey Peabody up as we approach 2:20, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That was an interesting little maneuver there on the front straightaway, Jeff.
I've said it since 2B. No need to be aggressive. Don't make mistakes. All three drivers here are guaranteed.
Watch it again, Jeff. Here they come. Both of them are coming across again.
All three drivers guaranteed a spot up on the front row. And Brad, at the first Southern Cup, you saw an incident here on the front chute, similar to that, where two boats tangled, got some damage. This was not as close, but it was still a little bit frightening.
Yeah, it sure was. That is Corey Peabody, who's leading them down into the lower corner. Checking on the watch, 1:43. Oh, boy. That might be a little early, Corey. He's down there at 1:35. Corey Peabody at the entrance pin. Andrew Tate's behind him. Mike, what do you want to do? Mike says, I'll go all the way down to the lower end of the race course. We are inside a minute and a half, coming up on 1:20. 1:20 until the start. Remember, our boats cannot drop below 80 miles an hour once they are on the race course and running. So that would be recorded on the black boxes in the boat. That information would be found during tech inspection. Do not drop below 80 miles an hour. If you do, you can only do it once. Inside, 1 minute, Jeff, 55 seconds.
Brad, by my marks, Corey Peabody leading them up in turn number 2. He'll probably creep and crawl to the start-finish line. Andrew Tate, a little bit better start sequence, but look for J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities to come across at full song. Brad Luce, we're 38 seconds away. Bring him to the green flag.
Time to go race it here in Heat 3B, presented by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. Corey is definitely early. How wide will he go? He will not. He's going to stay on that inside lane with 25 seconds until the start. But you notice the speed he does not have. Watch Kelly on the outside. That's the last boat up there. J. Michael Kelly was on the inside last time and slow. This time he's going to be on the outside with speed. We're inside 10 seconds. We are 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark! J. Michael Kelly appears to have nailed the start. A carload of boat speed and right on the line. We'll make sure the start is official here. Waiting for the word from the officials. Look good to me, and look what a good start, and look what a lot of boat speed does for you. The start is under review. Start is under review. We will call them the way they are on the water, and the way they are in the water right now is J. Michael Kelly with a rooster tail over Andrew Tate, and it is Corey Peabody lacking behind everybody. Man, Kelly, if he was legal, Jeff, he just wired that start.
That was a smoking Bill Muncie start. Brad, we're getting unofficial word. Corey Peabody running in third could have a one-lap penalty for that lane infraction prior to the start cutting through the infield. But it's all JMK, but the start is under review.
Thank you very much, Jeff. He's monitoring the official radio. We'll get the official calls when we have it. But for J. Michael Kelly, it's 1 up. It is 1 down. It is 2 to go, assuming he is legal. Andrew Tate flying at 12. He comes across to complete lap number 1. If that is indeed correct, what may have been the case with Corey Peabody, that might explain why he is not pushing things too hard here in this heat. Now up the backstretch on lap number 2. J. Michael Kelly, this thing's running like a rocket.
We did get official word. Corey Peabody, a one-lap penalty in Pinnacle Peak Consulting for the illegal maneuver in the milling period prior to the start.
Thank you very much, Jeff. So, it's just a 1-lap penalty, so he will simply have, and now we are being told the start is good. The start is good, so J. Michael Kelly nailed it. That was an incredible start for Mike. He had all the boat speed. He had it right on the line. So close, they had to review it. Kelly, your official leader in our Heat 3B presented by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. Andrew Tate comes across in the 12 to Graham Trucking. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, Jeff and J. Michael Kelly would like to have that start around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
That's what you need at 4 o'clock this afternoon for the Southern Cup Final. Be at that start-finish line buoy in full song, full throttle with not jumping. That could be key. Kelly really in front, followed by Tate and Peabody.
Peabody's going to be okay. He's going to pick up, if he continues to run, he'll pick up third place points. That's 225. He came in with 800. He'll be fine. He'll still be on the front row of the final. Remember, the points go out the window at that point. It is a winner-take-all final. But here comes our winner-take-all here in Heat 3B, presented by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. Give it up for J. Michael Kelly, the driver of the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. Kelly with a victory here in Heat 3B. Second place, Andrew Tate will come across in the 12. He will be comfortably transferred into the final heat. Good run for Andrew Tate. And then at the top end of the race course, they've got a checkered flag flying here, but I believe that should be a white flag. We will check it with the officials. They pull out that great big trophy, and guess what? Lee Dollar, I think, has already moved it over there with Katie Norton. The big trophy's up there on the stage, just trying to find out who is going to claim it.
And after the Southern Cup, Brad, you'll conduct the awards ceremony. Our fans, the guests, the race fan, is welcome to attend the Southern Cup awards ceremony. You better be there because there's some extra special goodies happening when the big trophy is awarded.
Yeah, there is going to be some extra special activity when they give the big trophy away, and immediately, if not sooner, following the award ceremony, we are going to have, believe it or not, Jeff, a little different time for this. We're going to have our H1 Unlimited Drivers Autograph Session. I am told our H1 drivers will stand there and sit there, and they will sign autographs as long as somebody wants to come through that line. I'm telling you what, kids, talk to mom and dad, say, come on, take me down to that award stand. I want to get someone's autograph. PR 534. It's time to go racing. We got to turn around. We probably got folks coming across now, Mr. Rayler. And we do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folks already away from the night. Straight at us. We had some speed coming right to us. That was Andrew Tate. He just flew straight across the lake and cut the course. talking all weekend that you can cut the race course from back to front at the top end of the race course, and that cut was at the bottom end of the race course. We will monitor the radio, and we will just pretend that that was perfectly legal, but that didn't look all that kosher right there, Jeff Baylor.
Under review, 4:15 away. Brad ID the boats as they come across the start-finish line the first time. Thank you, Brad. First boat by the start line. Here is the 9. That is the Pinnacle Peak Consult. No, I'm sorry. That's the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Jeff Bernard, and here's Vilwalk out here. Brad in the Beacon Plumbing. Second boat to first turn number 1, followed by J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities cutting through the race course. There is the 9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Corey Peabody, our top qualifier. Next boat by the Chartreuse and Royal Blue. J&D's with Jamie Nielsen. And our boat, we're trying to find out if a penalty was called in the warm-up period in Andrew Tate and Graham Trucking.
And I have it official. We have a change. Andrew Tate has been disqualified. That maneuver coming across the race course, we've said it all weekend long. If you're going to cut the course from back to front, like we're seeing right here up the left, it has to be at the top end of the race course. He cut the race course and came across back to front. At the bottom half, that's a disqualification. That's a tough break right there.
Tough break, Brad. We're 3 minutes away, and hopefully the officials, and it appears Andrew has gotten word he is slowed, and he will go back to the pit dock. So we'll have a 4-boat front row for the final with Vilwalk trailing. Brad, shocked by that maneuver, he blistered across Lake Gunnersville in an illegal spot, 245 away. Now 240.
It would have been a good move, and it would have been legal. He just needed to come across the course above the start-finish line. There is Dave Vilwalk coming across in the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. The boat has not competed in a heat of competition all day. There goes Dave, and in his signature move, cutting the race course. Here comes the U9. Corey Peabody comes across in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting boat out of the Tri-Cities. He, too, will cut the race course from the front straightaway to the back. Coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. I like where these guys are now. You don't really, by my unofficial calculations, Jeff, you don't want to be at the start-finish line in 2 minutes. We are inside 2 minutes right now. It is Jamie Nielsen right now sitting in lane number 1. And he crosses start-finish line with 150 right behind him, and on his outside, Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Then it is J. Michael Kelly, who will come down at 137 and cross the start-finish line. Here comes Corey Peabody, his teammate. Jeff, if they're going to go all the way down, which it looks like, Jamie Nielsen is going to sit in lane 1, number 1.
This could be a story right here in the Southern Cup in the milling period. Your lane is not assigned to you when you leave the pit area. Lane has to be established to the left-hand side of us prior to the entrance pin at turn number 2. Brad, we're 110 away. Just a touch early, I believe, for Nielsen and Bernard, but Bernard, no doubt, better positioning.
Yeah, Bernard's in a better spot. I'm worried again about Nielsen. He was very close to getting an 80-mile-an-hour penalty during the prelims for one of the previous heats, but he was legal. But he still got 52 seconds to kill. Bernard's got a bunch of it as well. Then it is J. Michael Kelly and Corey Peabody. They're the 3rd and 4th boats going up the backstretch. It is Peabody, I believe, on the outside. JMK will be in lane number 3. Nielsen in 1. Bernard in 2. It is Kelly in 3. Peabody in 4, 30 seconds to the start. Jeff hits about a 12-second run off the top end of the race course, and we're at 26.
Nielsen, Bernard, super early. Watch for J. Michael Kelly, the 3rd boat in the sequence. Could have the best start of all. Brad, bring him to the green flag for the Southern Cup.
15 seconds to go. Kelly did this in his previous heat. He brought a carload of boat speed to the line. Can he do it again? We are inside 10 seconds. We are down to 5 seconds. We're 4, 3, 2, 1, mark! And across the start-finish line, that start is too close to call. It was Jamie Nielsen on the line with Bernard with him. I'll tell you what, Jeff Bernard's got a lot of boat speed. The start is under review. And it is Jeff Bernard. He's going to get out of there first. He carried a lot of boat speed down there, but he's got Kelly with him on the outside, and he's got Peabody with him outside of that. There's 3 boats and that one rooster tail up the backstretch. It is Jeff Bernard.
Bernard in front. He will be one of the starters under review. Start under review. Bernard and Nielsen, the first 2 across. Bernard in front. Kelly's there. Brad into turn 2.
Yeah, we saw these 2 hook up earlier, and it was Kelly on the inside, and there's Kelly on the outside. Kelly is now pulled up alongside Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Remember, fans, we go 5 times around. They're going to be dead even at the end of lap number 1. Kelly by 1 boat length. J. Michael Kelly has gotten past Jeff Bernard. He beat him on the inside last time, Jeff, but this time he's actually trying to drive around him on the outside. So far, so good.
Kelly needs to drive clean in turn number 1. Now you see gaining superiority as Bernard has dropped back. Kelly in front. Bernard in second, Peabody in third, Vilwalk has moved to fourth, Nielsen in fifth, Brad 1.5 in, 3.5 to go in the Southern Cup.
Up the backstretch, it's a full rooster tail lead for J. Michael Kelly driving the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities, and you are right, he has opened up a full rooster tail on Jeff Bernard, but now Bernard's got to keep his eye on that right side rear view mirror because Corey Peabody is starting to move up on the outside of Jeff. It is J. Michael Kelly at the top end of the race course. Watch him drive this clean. He'll slide way out of there, leave plenty of room for his good buddy Jeff Bernard. And you saw Peabody up there slide out wide. 3 boats coming down the front straightaway, going to put 2 in the books with 3 to go. J. Michael Kelly showing some incredible speed. Look at Corey Peabody.
2 complete, 3 to go. Kelly in front, deck to deck racing for second. Bernard on the inside, and Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Peabody on the outside, and Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Kelly in front, Bernard with the advantage of the inside, but Brad, Peabody's got some horsepower on the outside wake.
And the race is back there for second position. Remember, the start is under review, and the 2 boats that were involved in it are the 11 and the 1. As Corey Peabody goes past Jeff Bernard. I'm going to hand it over to you, Jeff. I'm going to check on that review.
We're past the halfway mark of the 2021 Southern Cup here at the Lake Guntersville Hydrofest. J. Michael Kelly clearly in front in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. The boat running physically in third. Brad, is there a penalty?
Nope, there's 2 penalties. The 1 and the 11 both jumped the start. So Jeff Bernard already has that information. That is why Jeff has pulled his foot, I am sure. So he is now running behind the pack. 3 in the books with 2 to go. And man, oh man, Darryl Strong, you're running 1-2 in the Southern Cup.
So your official order right now after lap number 3, J. Michael in first, Corey Peabody in second, Dave Vilwalk is vaulted to third, and Miss Beacon Plumbing, Jeff Bernard in fourth, Jamie Nielsen trails it, Brad, we're 3.5 in, 1.5 laps to go in the Southern Cup.
J. Michael Kelly halfway up the backstretch on lap number 4. Cruises into the upper corner. Our boats have now spread out. Jeff Bernard definitely has got the word. He knows that he has jumped the start, and therefore he will have to run an extra lap. They will come down and complete lap number 4. The white flag is flying. That means 1 more to go for J. Michael Kelly. Darryl and Vanessa Strong, the 2 boats they purchased in the offseason, are sitting here number 1 and 2. White flag, Kelly, 1 to go. Here comes teammate Corey Peabody. This is going to be a big story, Jeff, with this new race team. Top 2 qualifiers, first and second in the first heat, if they finish 1-2 in the final.
Boys' smiles are big with owners Darryl and Vanessa Strong, their first ever race in H1 Unlimited. As owners, Kelly slowed momentarily, hit a roller. Brad, 1/2 a lap to go in the Southern Cup. J. Michael Kelly in front.
J. Michael Kelly driving for Darryl and Vanessa Strong, driving a boat sponsored by the business organizations of the Tri-City metropolitan area in the state of Washington and the Pacific Northwest. If he can negotiate this upper corner and bring it down to the checkered flag, he will claim a Southern Cup victory. And if he looks in the rearview mirrors, he's going to find his grade school classmate, his longtime good friend Corey Peabody, and teammate will come home in second. It is J. Michael Kelly, winner of the 2021 Southern Cup at the Lake Guntersville Hydrofest. Second place to Corey Peabody. There is a checkered flag flying, but they're going to pull it down and put a white up Jeff's got to run another lap because he jumped the start. Our third place bull will come down, and boy, this is a surprise. Dave Philwalk, he scored 70 points in qualifying only, qualified as the trailer boat. He picks up a check like that's a podium finish.
Brad, a Herculean effort by Kelly and Sharon Stockland, that race team, Dan Walters, Taylor Evans, Dustin Eccles, the whole group. Thank you for getting the boat in the Southern Cup final. You come away with a podium finish in third. And Brad,
You want to be on the front row. You gotta assure yourself that. You don't want to start from the trailer position, but you actually have to survive the 3 elimination heats to get there.
Right. And to me, that's the most important thing on everybody's mind, because Jimmy Alston said, it's going to be exciting for the fans, but us drivers are going to have to use our heads.
Very much so. And, don't lose it in the first heat.
Right.
And it's always been my philosophy for heat number 1, always, and this is a little different today because there's only 6 boats. When there's 10 or 11 or 12 boats that are participating and you eliminate boats from going in the final, this first set of heats is always the second most important heats of the weekend.
Yep.
If you score poorly here, your time, your effort to get to the final is going to be compromised.
Yeah.
If you score well here, you've set the day. You have set the tone for the day if you can score well in the first heat.
Yeah, and we've seen that in numerous times, whether it's at Detroit or Tri-Cities, and I'm not talking about the Gold Cup. You want to put yourself on the front row. If there's a 4 or 5 boat heat, again, this is not today, but if there is, if you win or then have a penalty and you go from 400 to 127 points, which is 5th place points.
Right.
4, 3, 2, 1.
1 to the 5. If you couldn't already hear that.
Rivertown Bar and Grill as the heat sponsor for Heat 1A here at the 2021 APBA Gold Cup, presented by Nucor of Madison. Or it's the Grand Prix America Series presented by Knighton Industry. So we'll see boats on the water here within the next minute. 3 boats. This will be 2 3-boat heats. It'll be 3-boat heats for the afternoon until we get to the final at 5:30. And then, of course, we'll run 1A and 1B for the Unlimiteds, run 2A and 2B for the Grand Prix America hulls. And everybody in the pit area working, Travis, knows it is going to be a quick, fast-paced day. You better be ready. You better be planning ahead because it's not a day where we're going to wait for you.
Yeah, we're not going to wait. That's because we're going to go.
Yep.
We've got to go. 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes, green flag on the course, and the boat should be able to leave the dock.
And with that, Dave Billwalk will be the first one to spool up and leave the pit area in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Stop freaking, call Beacon. Okay, Hill. And the Beacon Plumbing sponsorship.
Jimmy Shane and the Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank headed out as well. And Corey Peabody and the Pinnacle Peak Consulting, all three H1 Unlimiteds are up and running as we are at 4:15 before the start.
The question you asked me yesterday, and I was going to check, and I was just sitting here thinking about it, is Corey Peabody gets up on plane. Last year, Dave Billwalk raced before this year was 2014.
14.
Because him and Jimmy Shane had some
issues. At Tri-Cities and Seattle, I believe. Is that right?
You are correct.
Yeah. With the Elam boat,
it would have been with Shoemaker's boat.
Shoemaker's boat. Yep. Dave Billwalk cuts the Grand Prix course, headed from back to front. Jimmy Shane going to go all the way up into turn 2. 3:30 before the start as Billwalk crosses the start-finish line. Corey Peabody is headed that way as well.
Headed up towards the bridge as Jimmy Shane is up in turn 2. Billwalk in 1, Shane and Peabody up in 2 with now approaching 3 minutes to go before the start.
3 minutes right now.
I like this on the TV screen too.
Oh yes, Mr. Tate told us it would be on there, and
that's fantastic. Jimmy Shane across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Dave Billwalk once again goes to the infield as Corey Peabody comes down across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line, and then Dave Billwalk will follow suit in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Shane down in 1, Peabody just about to get to 1, and Billwalk will go down to 1 as well.
So all three in the lower corner now headed up the backstretch. 2:20 before the start of Heat 1A.
I'm going to assume, and this is horrible to do, especially when you're trying to guess lane assignments for Heat, what everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
I would assume most will want to go up underneath the bridge, although Billwalk has not gone out underneath the bridge in this 5-minute period.
Not yet.
2 minutes to go.
Corey Peabody going to cut the course from back to front.
That's why it's not good to assume. Dave Billwalk will
cut as well. 145.
So there's Billwalk cutting the course. Shane will come out of 2 and come down the front straightaway. Peabody's going to go down into corner number 1. We are at 1.5 minutes, and he's a tad early as Corey Peabody. He will not be able to slough off enough speed. Shane is going to hustle down across the start-finish line. Peabody will have to go quickly up and cut through. Billwalk is going way wide. He wants the outside lane.
He may have to still start out there.
Oh, that's right, from last weekend.
Because he only raced in 1 heat. He had to do it in 2. So
you're right. So Corey Peabody will cut through the infield, and he'll go down and join the cast and crew. Now he's going to cut the infield again and go over and join Jimmy Shane and Dave Billwalk.
So Peabody will cut it again.
Shane will go to the buoy line. He's going to be on the inside. Peabody in 2, and Billwalk will be on the outside. That's a great point.
Yep.
He only ran 1 heat at Guntersville, so he's still got 1 more heat to go.
To start on the outside, we're at 40 seconds before the start. Of course, now that we go up under the up under the Madison Milton Bridge, scrub off a little more speed than you could when we turned short of the bridge. So I think everybody's going to be okay. 27 seconds before the start.
20 seconds as they go through the turn 2 sequence. It'll be Shane off the turn first, Peabody off the turn second, Billwalk trailing behind. We are at 8 seconds as they head down towards start finish. Jimmy Shane carrying a whole lot of boat speed down. 3, 2, 1. Good start right here, and Jimmy Shane will lead him across the start finish line. Shane Peabody, Millwalk, 1, 2, 3, down to that treacherous corner number 1. It'll be Jimmy Shane turning left first. Shane negotiates the turn, off the turn, and up the backstretch, and he'll hold the lead by about a rooster tail over Corey Peabody.
And it is Jimmy Shane in the U1, the Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank, in first place comfortably by about 2 rooster tails over Corey Peabody. Dave Vilwalk is in the rooster tail of Corey Peabody. I lost him for a minute. I couldn't see him as they head to the Madison-Milton Bridge for the first time.
It'll be a 3-lapper. They're on lap number 1. Shane gets to the entrance pin of turn 2. He'll turn to the left and head down towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Dave Billwalk trying to track down Corey Peabody, and they're going to come out of corner 2 side by side. Peabody, Billwalk side by side. Shane's moved over to the middle of the river. He's coming straight down towards the start-finish line. It'll be Jimmy Shane completing 1 with 2 more to go. 1 down, 2 to go for the Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. Billwalk will move over into Jimmy Shane's wake in second place. Corey Peabody in third. Billwalk on the outside, Peabody on the inside, and they'll get to turn number 1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Dave Billwalk has tried to move over a little cleaner water. Peabody tiptoeing his way through the turn, trying to make up time. He's got the shorter way around, but Billwalk still with about a rooster tail lead over Peabody for third. Jimmy Shane, no problems back to the front of the field, though, as he, as Tim mentioned, moved over to about lane 2 or 3 to get away from the pins. And the race right now is for second. It's all Jimmy Shane at the top end.
Jimmy Shane at the entrance pin of 2. He'll negotiate turn number 2 around the apex, around the exit pin. He'll tighten the turn up a little bit closer this time as Billwalk and Peabody both enter turn number 2. It's Shane down underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. The white flag flying. 1 more lap to go in the Rivertown Bar and Grill, Heat 1A. Jimmy Shane will cross the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Down in second place will be Dave Billwalk in the U40, the Beacon Plumbing, and he is all over the front straightaway, trying to get over in Jimmy Shane's wake. And now second or third to Corey Peabody in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Shane off the exit pin of turn number 1.
Yep, looks pretty nice, clean turn there for Jimmy Shane for the final time of this heat. Billwalk, he makes it through all right as well. Peabody halfway through the turn now. Some pretty rough water down there. And he will exit turn 1 and head up the back straightaway. He's pretty much relegated to third. But it's all Jimmy Shane in the U1 Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank. 1 more turn to go for 400 big points.
Jimmy Shane up to corner number 2. He'll negotiate around the entrance pin. He'll go a little wider this time, Will Shane, off the exit pin as Dave Billwalk gets to the entrance pin of turn 2 in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Shane underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Checkered flag flies. A good start for the U1. Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. Jimmy Shane with a first place finish. Dave Billwalk comes down the front straightaway. A nice run for the U40. Much better performance today than we saw last week. It's Dave Billwalk in the Beacon Plumbing with second. Corey Peabody coming down underneath the bridge and towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. He will finish in third. All pending tech inspection.
Correct.